Howdy everyone, this is Tricia and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to easily take a grapevine wreath and decorate it and then transform it for different seasons. Today I'm going to show you fall and Christmas. Alright, so before I get started, I just want to let you know where I was motivated to go ahead and do this video. I had a question on my Tricia's Creation, that's my Facebook page. So if you go ahead and look for facebook.com/Tricia's Creations, and you'll see my little icon and you'll know that that's me. Please like my page, and if you want to ask me anything, you can message me from there. So this was Christine Blevins. So thank you, Christine Blevins, for your question. And she says, "Hi Tricia, I have this huge grapevine wreath. I really don't know exactly what to do, but don't want to spend a lot of money on it. She'd like to do something where she can keep it up all year." And she says, "Any suggestions? You may have already done something like this. If so, let me know and I'll try and find it. Just wondering in Kentucky. Thanks." Alright, so I went ahead and I responded to Christine. So I'm going to show you what I responded to her. So we have a grapevine wreath here. This is what I have right here. And my suggestion was to take a floral garland or a greenery garland, even a berry garland, and then just wrap it around, because that is probably going to be the most inexpensive way and the easiest and quickest way to decorate a grapevine wreath. And then I went ahead and I told her, well, you can also use a bow if you want to decorate it any further, and then the bow could be changed around for the seasons. So I'm just going to show you how easily it is just to put a garland around here. I have a greenery garland here. Let me show you this one right here. It's almost like a little olive leaves or something, little branches. I don't know what it is really. I took the tag off and I don't know what happened. So anyway, this was not an inexpensive garland, but I got it at 40% off because I went to my Hobby Lobby and I purchased it from there. Now it's all going to depend on where you purchase your garland from, and it also depends on how big your vine is, your grapevine. If your wreath is really big, you might need to buy 2 pieces of garland, or 2 whole, I should say not pieces, but 2 whole garlands. If you have something really small, 1 garland will be more than enough. Maybe you may even have to cut some of it off and save it for another project, or just use it and wrap it around twice if that's even possible. Okay, forgive me for being all tongue-tied. I'm a little stuffed up in the nose. Okay, so anyway, this is what I've got. So it just depends on where you get your garland from and how much you decide to pay for it. It's all going to depend on you. It could be really cheap if you want to go that route. It could be inexpensive, or it could be expensive, but it doesn't have to be. I also have a bush of flowers that I had also purchased from the same store, and they happen to be, I think they were either 50% off or 40% off. I'm not really sure, but they were already on sale. And this is a neutral flower, and I told her that you could also use a flower that is neutral. Now, this is not already on a garland, but I'm just going to show you how you can embellish a simple wreath, or we're going to pretend that maybe these were already on a garland and you can just put it on your wreath. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to set the camera down a little bit so I can start the first phase, and then I can show you how you can switch it over from fall and then over to Christmas. Okay, so the tools that we're going to use to start decorating our wreath or to transform it are just going to be, we might need some wire cutters, scissors, and we do need some floral wire. We don't even have to use any kind of a glue for this. If you want to use your glue gun and glue some things down, you can go right ahead and do so. I'm going to make this super easy so that we don't have to worry about having to take that out, and then also using some glue. So like I said, we're going to use our floral wire. I'm going to take my garland, and this can be a greenery garland, like I said, like it is, or it could be a floral garland, like I said. Okay, so I'm going to take the very end of it here, and it was already kind of hooked like that, so I'm just going to stick it in there into any part of my wreath. Just stick that little hooked part in there, and then we're going to take a piece of wire long enough to go in there and then come back out. So we want to wrap around the garland, and we also want to wrap around the wreath. You could use chenille stems, and if you can hide them really well, go right ahead. I like to use a wire because I don't see it. Okay, so I'm just going to twist it into itself and then push it into the wreath so that it's nice and hidden away in there. Okay, so now I'm just going to feed the garland, around my wreath, and I'm going to shape it a bit to make it curve around it. Again, taking some wire and securing it. Now, you could go ahead and shape it all the way around and then tie down the end where you have met here, if it's long enough to meet here, or depending on, like I said, if it's a huge wreath, it might only go halfway. Tie the other end down, and then come and bring another garland, tie it down, bring it around, and tie it down, and then tie down the middle parts. It depends on how you want to do it. Now, this one here, this particular garland that I have, has a wire all the way down. This is all wire where everything's attached onto. Some of them are just like a thin plastic. It's not a wire, so they're, you know, a little bit looser. So you might want to tie it down in more spots, because, you know, there might be some areas where it'll just kind of like droop. So you want to just grab it on. So because this one has a wire on it, I don't have to grab it from too many points. I can just shape it. Okay, so I'm going to continue doing that all the way around, bringing up these little branches upwards so that they're not stuck underneath the garland wire when I wrap it, and then just shape it. And it happens to be a very good size for this wreath, thankfully, because I don't have another one. See, it reaches just fine. And this little space here will be for my bow, because I am going to put a bow on it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish tying it down, and I shall be back. Okay, so I have finished tying down all of my greenery, and I've gone ahead and I fluffed it up just to make sure that none of the little branches were crushed down, or, you know, they were maybe like curled in. I just kind of straightened them out a little bit, not too much, because I wanted them to have like a natural flow, and of course they're not going to be straight. And then I took some of the little curlies on here, these little sticks here, and I kind of curled them a little bit more on the ends just to make them look a little fuller. And that's basically all I did. So you just want to fluff up everything and make sure that everything looks nice. And as you can see, this wreath pretty much is complete as it is. You could hang it up. This would be great for the start of spring. And if you wanted, you could add a bow, maybe add some little flowers or some little berries, as I had suggested. But let's go ahead and add a little bow just to give you an idea. And I'm going to tie this where it basically ended, which was right over here. And I've just got a bow with some chenille stem, and I'm just going to feed it through. And it all depends. Where do you want your bow? Do you want your bow hanging from the bottom? Do you want it on the side? Do you want it at the very top of your wreath? That all just depends on where you like it. So I'm just going to take the tails, make some of this greenery, and then just poof up my bow, make it look pretty on here. There we go, pretty little bow. Let's go ahead and take a look at this as if it were hanging on the wall. All right, so here is our wreath. And as you can see, it's really pretty, just like that. We can choose to have the bow on the side or even on the top. Just direct your little tails whichever way you want them to go. And again, you don't have to have the bow. All right, so now let's envision our wreath with some flowers. So I'm going to take some of these flowers. All I'm doing is bending them a little bit, and I'm going to tuck them right into the wreath. And if you wish, like I said, you could hot glue them in there, or you could also use some wire and tie them down. I'm just going to push them in just like that. Get another one for the other side. I'm going to take this leaves that it has down at the bottom. I am going to suggest that a nice greenery for this that could go through all seasons would be a magnolia leaf, because even that looks beautiful in Christmas. And then you could just add some little pines here and there. So here we go. Add some flowers all the way around. Just tuck them in, and they'll be easy to pull out if you are tired of the flowers and want something else. But I'm going to show you how you can take this particular wreath that I'm making from, this could be spring, it could be summer. All I have to do is maybe change up my ribbon, and let's go ahead and show you this as if it were hanging. All right, as you can see here, now we've got the flowers on there, and I was saying that you could take this from spring into summer and just leave it like that. Maybe all you want to do is maybe just change the bow, which you could also do to this if you had maybe some little pink berries or some little pink flowers. Maybe just tuck some here anywhere you want if you wanted to add that, or maybe add like a little birdhouse, whatever you want, a little sign across it or somewhere on here would look fantastic. And then you could just take that off and leave it just as is, and then we'll just switch over the bow if you want for summer, but we're going to go ahead and do fall. Okay, so now let's transform our wreath into a fall. So you could either keep the same bow that you've had on if it is something neutral like what I have on. I'm going to go ahead and take it off and switch it, and since I just used some chenille stem to tie it on, I can easily just take it right off. And then what I do is I flatten all my loops because I'm using a wire edged ribbon, so I'm going to recommend use a wire edged ribbon for your bows. This can now fold up like that, nice and neat, and you can put it away and pull it out when you need it again and fluff it up. Okay, so let's take some ribbon, and I've chosen this really pretty kind of plaid with some oranges, and it's got like a yellow in there, but I feel like that color blends in very well with this because on the inside of my flower I've got these little golden kind of yellow orangey tones, and that goes really well with my ribbon, so that's why I chose that. Here's some chenille stem ready. Well, I'm just going to choose a short little tail. I'm not going to do anything too extravagant, but I do want to make plenty of loops, and I will have a renewed video on how to do handmade bows, but I do already have some existing if you want to look through my channel and just look under my video tab, and then in the search put in handmade bows, and it'll take you to 2 videos that I actually have for that. But I am going to renew that video. Okay, so I'm just doing some loops, and I think I'm going to do 4 loops on each side, so I'll have an 8 loop to bow. I don't want to waste too much time doing this because this is how to transform something. You can even find bows that are already made. Okay, but I really want you to learn how to do them yourself. So look at those videos and then look forward to a new video coming up. Alright, so here we go. There's our bow. And before I fluff it up or do anything to it, I'm going to go ahead and attach it to my wreath first. So always attach your wreaths, your bow, sorry, to your wreaths. And then I'm just going to take the chenille stem and kind of fold it up and just push it into the vine. And now I can go ahead and poof up my bow. And then of course the width of your bow also depends, because if you have a bow ribbon that's a lot wider than this one, you can get away with using 3 yards of ribbon and then just having 6 loops, because the loops will be wider, so they'll fill up most of the bow. But because I had a less, you know, it's not as wide. This is 1.5 inch instead of a 3 inch or 2.5 inch ribbon. So because it's more narrow, I should just say, more narrow, I used about 4 yards to create 8 loops. So that's how much it takes to make this little bow, and there you go. We could leave it like that, but you know what, I'm going to dress it up a little bit more because I want it to be really obvious fall. And I've got some berry stems here that I also got from Hobby Lobby. You can get these stems, you can find similar ones at Walmart, also Michael's. Maybe you go to a nice floral craft store and find your own, or different ones. You could use something like that, or add little pumpkins, whatever you wish to insert into your wreath. And I'm just going to curve them a little bit here and there. So what I'm doing is I'm poofing them up a little bit, you know, bringing the berries up. I don't want them to be too flat, and then I kind of curve it a little bit. And this end I'm just going to fold it because I don't need so much length. And then again, I'm just tucking them in. And if you feel like they might get blown, you know, if you have a lot of wind outside, or you know, maybe some kids at home that are playing in the front patio or somewhere near the door where you hang this, and you don't want them pulling it off, then tie them down. And even if you want, you can go ahead and hot glue them in. You can always pull them off. When something's been outside with hot glue, the elements of the weather outdoors makes the, you know, kind of loosens up the hot glue, so it's easy to pull things off. Okay, so here we go, putting some pretty little berries all the way around. And I got 5 stems, but this is a big wreath. I think this is a 36 inch. If it's not a 24, it's a 36. Now, usually they don't exactly measure up to 36 inches or to 24. I'm thinking this is probably more of a 24. I haven't worked with grapevine wreaths in a long time. And I'm kind of glad that somebody did ask me, because I happen to have these kind of tucked away in my garage. They were just there collecting dust. And I thought, oh, well, I'm going to take off whatever decorations are on it. But you know what? I found it already. Already without anything. So I must have gotten it ready for some project that I never did do. Oops, let's get these leaves here. Just making sure that I poof up the leaves that I may have squished. And there we go. So let's look at it from a kind of a hanging point of view. And there we go, everyone. This is our fall autumn wreath look. As you can see, it looks really pretty, very simple. We can even take the flowers off if we don't care for them, maybe just the little berries. And tuck in a little pumpkin here if you want, maybe a little ghost or something for Halloween. All right, so I've already removed the fall or autumn berries from my wreath, and I'm going to remove the bow. And now I'm going to add some red berries, because now I'm going to transform it for Christmas. And I'm using the same garland, the same flowers. I'm just going to keep those right on there. And I don't have to add anything else to it. If I wanted to have it really full, because, you know, Christmas, sometimes we want to go a little bit all out and add a little bit extra. If you wanted to put some little pine sprays, you know, like a little bits like this, but instead of berries, some pine with some pine nuts, or what is it, pine cones, sorry, pine cones. All right, let me go ahead and finish putting these all the way around, and I shall be back. All right, just adding the last sprig here, a little spray of berries. And now I want to put a ribbon, a bow actually, that is a Christmassy. So actually I already have one made here. So let me go ahead and just put that on. I've got this one right here, right in that same spot. Gotta reach in and grab something, tie this around, and again, just take those ends and push them into the grapevine wreath. Fix your tails as you want, and then just poof your bow. Just like that. And I want to make sure that every one of these poofs or loops are poofed. Bending these berries so they're not squishing my bow. There we go. And then make sure that all your leaves are also poofed out. They're not getting squished. So just go around and fix that up. Make it look pretty again. And there we go, a Christmassy wreath. So let me hold this up so that you can see that as well. All right, everyone, here is the transformed wreath for the Christmas holidays. And there we go, so that you can look at it. Again, I am going to pan the camera on it so that you can see it and see all of them actually at the end of the video. I hope that you enjoyed this little tutorial on how to take a grapevine wreath, decorate it very simply for all year long if you want to keep it that way, and how you can transform it quickly by just taking some things off and adding, or just keep adding if you want to do that. And as you can see, it's very simple just to add a different bow, and it actually changes the whole feel. And I used a very neutral flower that can go the whole year. All right, everyone, I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up. I hope that you too will give me a big old thumbs up, and that you will leave a nice comment down below. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified of my videos, which is every Tuesday and every Friday. And once in a while, I have a weekend vlog. So also make sure you share on your social medias. And as always, enjoy.